Let's take a look at the Nieliwocki Stroll, and I'm going to dive right into the first part here and play you the first measure and a half or so, and then we'll go ahead and look at it a little bit closer. Starts out like this. Okay, let's look at that much. So I'm playing with my ring finger and pinky on the G string and B string. And when I'm doing this with my right hand, I am using like my index and middle finger. We could do index and ring, but I like to use index and middle finger here. And I'm going from the 6th string to the 4th string with my thumb. Just rotate it back and forth. And the melody is going. Okay, so I'm moving it a half step from the 3rd fret, both of these, to the 4th, and back. All right, so you can pick it. If you feel like it's too much to play those right in a row, both of those fingers on the same strings, which it can be, you can slide it like that, but I'm picking it for now. Like that, so again. So what I'm doing there is taking off the pinky, adding on the middle finger on the low E string 4th fret. And I'm trying to muffle the bass as well, because we have this open D string, which is fine, it's part of the chord, but if it's not muffled, it can just kind of ring over a lot of the other notes, so make sure you're muffling the bottom 3 strings. Like that, one more time. Now we're going to an A7. So what I'm doing here with the A7 is starting out with a hammer-on. So here's where I'm kind of targeting to, is the A7. Now to get there, I'm playing a hammer-on the B string, using my index finger on the 1st fret, and then hammering on with my ring finger up to the 2nd fret on the same string. Like that. Then I add the index finger on the A string, 1st fret. This gives me like an A sharp diminished, or a B flat diminished 7, whatever you want to call it, there's fine. Okay, and I'm on the right hand, I'm using middle finger and index finger on the B and G string, and then the ring finger's up on the high E string. So these two are paired together, the index and middle. Okay, let's take that much of it really slow. One more time. Okay? So that part's going to repeat. You want to make sure you have that pretty solid before moving on. Then we're going to anticipate the next measure a little bit. With this slide, I'm using my pinky on the high E string from the 6th fret down to the 5th fret. And then playing all the way down to the 1st fret of the E string. Excuse me, 1st string, 3rd fret. The E string there, 1st finger. Okay, so I'm going to play the melody note first, and then comes in the bass note. Again. So you have to play the middle finger is what I'm using on the top there, on the right hand. Pick that note first, then comes the beat 1 with the thumb. Then here, this is like an inversion of an E7th chord. Okay, middle finger on the 4th fret E string, ring finger on the 4th fret G string, and index finger on the 3rd fret B string. All right, and I'm still going 6, 4, 6th string, 4th string with the right hand, with a thumb. Then to an F sharp major chord, and I've actually got the E string on there. It's like an F sharp 7th. And again, I'm using my thumb over the top, you see, on the 2nd fret of the 6th string. So that's getting an F sharp note. And then I have ring finger, 4th fret, 4th string, middle finger, 3rd fret, 3rd string, and index finger on the 2nd fret, 2nd string, keeping the high E string open with our melody. Then I move it down half a step, gives us an F major 7th chord. So let me back up to the slide and play you all the way to there. there's another anticipation there, moving to the F major 7. So I played those open strings, right, kind of the fingers, before the beat comes in on the first beat with the thumb. Again. Okay, and I'm also bending a little bit on the 5th fret with my pinky. Okay, this is just a little embellishment I'm adding in somewhat naturally there. You can add that in if you want, but just the slide itself is fine too. So here's all of that again tied together. Okay, then we're going to be back into the walk up again, like we did in the very first phrase. To the A7, same way. Now we're going to cut everything off for a quick break. We're going to hit the E string, and we're going to try to stop it right away afterwards. It doesn't always happen this way, but what I like to do is with my thumb pick, or just my thumb if I'm not using a thumb pick, dig under the string a little bit to kind of snap it, right? So we're going... Okay, and then I'm either muting it with my right hand, setting it down, or grabbing real quick with my left hand, dampening the string. Okay, just we want to hit that right away on the first beat. And then we have this cool little chromatic lick. Okay, so it's kind of a Jerry Reed-esque type of chromatic lick in there. I'll play you the lick after this walk up. Just resolve into an E major chord. So let's look at the fingering for this lick here. I'm playing a pull-off from the 7th fret to the 7th fret to the 5th fret on the first string. I'm using my pinky and index finger for that. Ring finger and index is fine, whatever you're comfortable with. Like that. Now I'm going to slide from the 3rd fret to the 4th fret on the first string with the index finger. Then middle finger on the 5th fret, 2nd string. Ring finger on the 6th fret, 3rd string. Okay, so I'm sliding up. Then I walk down on the G string to the 5th fret, middle finger, and open B string after that. Then I'm here on the A string, 4th fret with the ring finger, G string on the 2nd fret with the index. Then I'm pinching the A string and G string together with the middle finger on the 1st fret of the A string. And then resolving to like an E7 with the middle finger and ring finger, A string and G string. And then playing the thumb for good measure there at the end. So here's the entire lick. Okay, so what I'm doing on the right hand, starting with the thumb for the pull-off, and then a little bit of a banjo roll, a backwards 2-1 thumb. Okay, and then just thumb again for this next note on the G string, open B string with the middle finger. Now the thumb and index are going to play these next chords. Okay, so that's like the A section of the song. Let's play it through really slow once, and then I'm going to work my way into the B section and start describing that to you. So now that we've done our chromatic lick, right, we would have repeated the A section twice. Now we're going into this B section, and what we're going to do is start with an A7th chord, 5th fret with the index finger on the D string, 6th fret with the middle finger on the G string. And what's a little bit different about this, I'm actually using my index and middle on the right hand to pluck those two strings. Okay, so usually we have the thumb playing the bottom 3 strings. Now my index finger's got up there on the D string, just for this one chord. And I'm playing it, I'm playing thumb and then a pinch. Playing these 2 notes together, sliding them down and sliding it back up. Okay, so I'm only attacking it or plucking it once with the right hand, sliding down and sliding back up. Here we go. So what I do after the A7, I switch to like an A minor 9th chord, so I'm barring 5th fret, top 4 strings. The pinky is on the high E string on the 7th fret. There's just a bar on the 5th fret, it's an A minor 7. Now I'm going to go to an E7, and I'm sliding into it with my ring finger. The thumb's going 6, 4, 6, 4 on the right hand for this part. So within that pattern, I bring my middle finger down to the low E string 4th fret. Again. Now the second time, I slide up again, but I add my pinky on the high E string 4th fret. So it's the same pattern, same phrasing, but with the pinky the second time around. So here it is again from the A7 all the way through the E7. Back up to the A7. Same way we did it. Now this time I have a little lick where we're walking up the bass line. Okay, and this is something that you hear Jerry Reed do a lot. He has so many cool moving bass lines happening with a melody on the top. And this is kind of what I was striving for here. That's kind of sound. So that's what our bass line's doing. And then our melody with it. Okay, and we're working our way up to this B7 sharp 9 chord. Let me do that again. Okay, so the way I'm playing this lick is open E string along with this F sharp note, E string 2nd fret with the index finger. Okay, then I go to the ring finger, 4th fret, low E string, and I'm playing the B string 3rd fret with my middle finger. That's the next part. Now I'm going to do a slide with my pinky from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret G string, and then open G string. Then I'm pinching the A string along with that open. There's my B flat note, walking up to the B. Again. So when I get to the B7 sharp 9 chord, I've got thumb, index, middle, and ring finger playing that. So thumb on the A string, index on the D, middle on the G string, and ring finger on the B string. And I'm not letting it sustain. I'm not going... Which you could do. That sounds fine in itself, but I like the sound of the more staccato kind of punchiness of muting the strings, kind of lifting up the pressure of your left hand. Like that. From here, we're going to go right back into the melody. So when you do that, when you go back from this, sometimes it's hard to get right back to this. So sometimes I'll just do half of it. Let me show you what I mean there again. All the way through. Do the... I'll either slide it. If you can fit it in to do both, that's great, but when you get it up to speed, if you feel like it's too much of a jump to go from the B7 sharp 9 right back into it, you can just do it once. Like that. So if you've played through the song, you've done the A section, the B section, maybe the A and B again. Whenever you feel like you're going to end it, what I like to do is play the little chromatic lick twice. So I'll do this. And then the bass note one more time, making sure to snap it and stop it. And slowing down at the end there. Okay, so that's the Nieliwocki Stroll. You know, it kind of reflects a little bit of some Jerry Reed tunes. Like if you've ever listened to Jiffy Jam or Bluefinger, it's got some resemblance to the walking bass lines in those. And it's, remember, an easygoing tune. You don't want to rush through it. It's got kind of a nice little groove going on there. So take it little bits at a time again. Any hard parts, like maybe the chromatic roll, isolate those and work on them, get it down, and have fun with the Nieliwocki Stroll.